Okay, I know it's Saturday and people will be joining, but we can't keep waiting, looking at the time we have. So we will be starting now. And if you know someone who is on the way, just give him or her a call, maybe to come as quick or as early as he can. Good. Okay. Good morning. Oh, wonderful. How is everyone? Superb. Great. Sorry? Okay, not superb. What happened? Why not superb? Okay. Oh, don't worry, we will be through. Yeah, yeah, we will be. Hey, what do you mean by we will be in final? No worries. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, come back, come back, come back. And thanks a lot for coming, and especially on a Saturday. I know it's not easy when you are working throughout the week, right? And it's especially in the IT industry, it's not in a typical 9 to 5. We know our time, starting time we don't know when we are going to end, right? And then you again have to come on Saturday for an event or a conference, which is more of an optional, I would say. For some of you, it may be a mandate, not for everyone, right? But still, thanks a lot. And I hope that, and we will try our best that whatever time you are going to spend, whatever effort you have spent to coming here, that will be compensated. Right? And thanks not to me. Thanks to Sanatan and his team and the Quadrofort for organizing and sponsoring it. Right? Right? So what we have is, I already shared the agenda. So we are going to have 4 sessions, 2 sessions before the tea break, and then we have 2 more sessions. After that, we have a lunch break, right? After that, after lunch, we have an optional thing, right? It's an open house. If anyone from the audience or from the participant, if they want to talk about anything, maybe of their favorite topic, maybe 10, 15 minutes, even without slides. We don't need any slides for it. So you are most welcome to give your name or maybe your topic to me, and we can connect after that. All right. What else? And you already had tea, coffee there. So the tea, coffee, and washroom is on that side, right? And we will be closing around 2 or 2:30, right? What I think that housekeeping thing is done. Right? What else? And I haven't introduced myself, by the way. Some of you already know me. For others, so I am Sanjay Sani. I am based out of Gurgaon. I do organize all these events. Right? Every quarter we do it. So the way it works is the first quarter which we are in, we do it on the leadership. The second quarter is on AI. The third quarter is on Scrum, and the fourth quarter is on product management. Generally, we get between 60 to 80 participants, but I think this time it's because of Holi. Right, there are so many people who have, especially people who are close by, their native home is close, right? They may have moved out and they may have gone to their home and maybe working from home next week. So that's why. But the last time, I think some of you were there in the product management event. So we had around more than 80, I think close to 100. But that's okay. So with this, I think I will shut up, and we will start with our first session, right, which Rajiv is going to take. And I was just talking to Rajiv about it. The topic is a bit scary as well as interesting. And let's see what he has. And I'm not going to introduce any speaker as such, because that may not be good from my side. So I would like them to give a brief intro about themselves and then kick off the session. Everyone okay? Good? Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay. Good morning, everybody. So just a quick, brief introduction of myself. I'm Rajiv Thapar. I'm part of the Quadrofort board. Almost 35 years experience in IT. So I've gone through all the technological waves which we have, and now we are into AI wave. And in the AI part also, a lot of good and scary things are happening. So it is up to us that how we take it that. It's a big opportunity, I think. So I'll be talking about that how it is directly and indirectly impacting all of us and what it makes sense for the agile world. So we talk about AI, AI agents, generative AI, and now ultimately the agentic AI. So that is what I'm going to cover today. Please feel free to stop me and ask any questions. So I am not going to go into technical things, but definitely it is going to leave a good food for thought for you, all of you, because it is going to impact. If it is not impacting, it is definitely standing on the door. Anytime the door will open and it is going to impact. Now you take this impact as an opportunity. Yes, definitely it's a big opportunity, but as every opportunity you have to encash, it calls out for doing something in yourself, in your organization, in your teams. So what is that? We'll see that. We are all coming from the agile world. We know that we do a lot of things directly or indirectly impacting our customer outcomes and what customer wants. They want low cost always. But as a team delivering that, you need more efficiency, more output, continuity in the work where you develop software and solutions for your customers, and how AI. So AI, we have seen that has been very, I would say, interesting word around our world. And today everybody has, maybe in your phones also you are using your AI today and calling out some interesting things. As technical professionals, that is just a basic, not even basic. If you use your standard AI models, Google Gemini or Copilot or ChatGPT, and you assume that you know AI, you are already obsolete. Please take it on the face value that if you are considering yourself that you know AI by learning a couple of popular tools, please, you are obsolete already. Because when we talk about agile world, you know what are the intricacies or what are the requirements and what is the pressure you have to go through from all aspects at every stage of the agile cycle. You have something to deliver. As a team lead or as a scrum master or as a manager or a product owner, you are continuously under pressure. And somebody told you that AI will help you. Am I right? I will start with a positive note that agentic AI will definitely supercharge, make your entire cycle super efficient and deliver for you. Before we go into agentic AI thing, take a note from me that agentic AI is not here to replace your agile. It is going to complement, it is going to add value to you and add a lot of change in the entire process. Now, there are two ways to handle this change that you can say, no, it is going to affect me, I can't do anything. But if you embrace this change, you learn what changes are coming and you override on that, you will be the king. You can actually drive a lot of value. But if you don't do anything, you will be obsolete. The fear in the market that the AI will take the job is not that AI will do something for you, but definitely the people who are using AI for a better output will take your job. 100% I am telling you, and this is happening. Every day you Google or you search, there will be people who are losing the job. And as an agile team, you know, there are a lot of things which are repetitive. where you know that this is the way we do. Even doing review meetings or celebrating things is a repetitive thing. And you are all doing that day in, day out. Now coming from the normal models which you are using in the AI world to writing your own AI agent. How many people can write AI agent in this room? Only 2-3 people. So what I am saying, requesting all of you, if you are not able to write your AI agent, you will, in couple of days or couple of weeks, you will be obsolete. Because we are moving from the models where we say the AI world is like generative AI. We say generate a lot of content using models. We call it generative AI. We are moving from generative, or we will be continuously using generative AI, but I am more talking to you as the IT professionals who are impacting the software development lifecycle, who are working for your customers. Using only generative part of the AI is not going to be sufficient. It's already obsolete, as I said. Obsolete in the sense you can't use it for actual your productivity in the agile world, in the software development lifecycle. There you need to do something more, and that is writing your AI agents. The next step of AI agents is putting all the AI agents into an architecture and coming out with what we call as agentic AI. If you don't know, if you are not working on an architecture where multiple agents are talking through what we know, multiple protocols are there, then you can't automate. Somebody else will write a code for you. Yesterday's report that Anthropic has written something that the cloud will replace the cybersecurity. So there are more than 500 companies who give cybersecurity solutions. And Anthropic has come out that we'll write a code that you will not require a cybersecurity solution. So you can see the dangerous. I'm not saying that definitely it will impact, but somebody has to use that also. So if not you are not the guy who are using it or learning it or developing your skills or knowledge on that, somebody else will do it. Somebody else is already looking into your aspect of agile cycles and trying to see how I can improve that. Somebody else is trying to eat your lunch. So I want to grow by eating my own lunch, and definitely I want to see that I'm fully prepared to look into that. Now, when we talk about agentic AI, in my agile world, it definitely has a value. It will do so many things which we do manually and make the process super efficient. But make the process, I would say, so fast, so accurate, that you will not require certain things to be done what you are doing today. So all your delivery pipelines, right from your requirement gathering, to using the data in the pipeline, to putting the test cases, writing a code, doing testing, to anything and everything, even the doing multiple parallel things for a same outcome, everything is automated. Very important, you should know difference between AI agents and the agentic AI. Agentic AI is giving you an option to use multiple agents talking to each other for doing your job and giving you multiple options. So if you want to build a scenario for your test use case and you want to try 10 things, it can do automatically and simultaneously. Or normally if you take what, 4, 5, 6 weeks to do one, it will do in a couple of hours. Any question? So I have written almost all the things which normally you do in your SDLC using Agile that can be replaced by agents. And agentic AI architecture gives you to build up something which will actually improve what your business is looking into. Is it scary? Definitely it is scary. And it gives me food for thought, yeah.
I understand that things are changing in a different way, but looking at current scenario, the service industry is still not getting the demand from the product industry in terms of projects which are more agentic oriented. I am still getting demands that are more people oriented. Plus, the I don't see that shift happening in terms of service industry. Plus, how is service industry going to cope up with this? We are going to use a lot of agents while coding. We will not probably be completely using the things which doing the things we used to do in that way, but still demanding that premium billings. That doesn't make sense anymore unless we are using agents. And then how is this going to handle the mistakes a developer does? So I don't see that happening yet. So why is it still a hype, or why is the industry not able to accept that agents can do a lot of things? Even Agile, for example, has not been able to evolve into a model which actually supports agents. So we are still talking about 3 roles, 3 artifacts, 5 meetings and all, but I still don't see that happening in the Agile world too.
See, multiple questions you asked simultaneously. Well, let me go one by one. But on the part of that why we are not able to do and what we should do, I'll cover that later. But don't wait for customer to tell you that work on agents. Somebody is already working for that particular vertical or that customer, and they will come and give you the solution. They will tell them that I will replace your 10 people to 2 people, use my agents. I am again saying it out of everyday discussion into multiple large organizations where the development teams, engineering teams are continuously under pressure to use AI on their product build-up, on their product engineering. If they don't do, see, there are two big risks. If they don't do, they slow down their production or they slow down their product releases. The biggest risk is some other competition will make them obsolete. Every review cycle or every engineering, what we call as the business review we do, we face that the teams are shit scared that how my team is going to survive after 2 months, 1 month.
The basic question that I want you to answer, because you come from the layer which actually sees the things changing in the world, is do you see that shift happening in large
Yes,
teams and small teams?
absolutely yes. That is why I said if you don't embrace that change within your organization, take that initiative now for yourself, for your teams, and for your organization, somebody else will do it. Because somebody has, like people like Anthropic, 1 year back pick up their turnover and pick up now. Just 1 year. And what they have been talking, and they are very scary also. See, just if you have read the news, US government is saying that we will not work with Anthropic. The reason is not that they don't have the knowledge, they decline to give the ethical part of that. They don't want to open that code that they make smart weapons which will do a mass destruction type So that type of things is also, there's so many things, is like responsible AI and all those things, we can talk about it. But the crux of the things is that agentic AI is fast coming up to do a lot of things for us. But to your point, all is good, all is right, they are God? No. They will still require human intervention. They will, what they have come out with a word called HITL, human in the loop. There will be multiple scenarios. Even if you put your agentic AI into your agile world, there will be scenarios where you will be required. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you are embracing agentic AI, which will be the need of the hour, need of the business, you will also have to change. I'm not saying you will have to go. If you don't change, definitely you will have to go, but you have to change. There are multiple things you have to do. We'll go into that one by one.
Top of it, that if you is it an AI, Gen AI or agentic AI, they are not going to clean your trash, right? If your basic process is broken and you add something really fast on top of it, you are going to create maybe bigger problems for yourself. So if, as an organization, as a team, we have to have at least some basic hygiene.
Most importantly, when you are already working into an agile world, you know the values which agile can give to the entire software development. That is why you have come from the waterfall to agile and you are delivering. Take it that agentic AI will amplify that. You want faster the software development cycle, faster release, you want to catch the problem early. All those things will be amplified using agentic AI. That is where it will act as an accelerator to you. Quality-wise, efficiency-wise, your testing-wise, whatever you want to do, it will enhance your ability, it will improve your efficiency, it will improve your accuracy, and it will reduce the cost. But when we get into all these things, you will see that it is impacting that, okay, instead of 10 people, I can do away with 4 people. Now, it amplifies, so instead of doing the iteration in every Scrum cycle, maybe once in a week or maybe once in 2 weeks, you can do micro iterations. Agents are talking to agents are collecting data, agents are doing their testing, and they are coming up and they are correcting themselves. Agentic AI. Now, your AI agent may do a specific job, but your agentic AI, where multiple agents are talking to each other and they are learning, and you are giving them data, maybe you can create a data in motion or a real-time data flowing into the agentic architecture. So they are taking the decision, they are taking a call that what should be that particular test case and what should be the output. So everything can be automated, but automated also, and the second word which I want to use is autonomous. They can decide on their own also. See, AI agent will automate, definitely. You know how to write a workflow, you will automate that, you have certain repetitive steps. But autonomy will come when you give the intelligence and the decision-making power to the architecture. That is where you have to play a role. So shifts the human value. Developers and product people move from repetitive tasks towards architecture, strategy. Now, how the agentic AI architecture will work, what will be the strategy to use the agentic AI, you have to decide. Nobody will decide for you. So you are shifting from what you are doing today as a product management or a code writing to defining the agentic AI strategy. How you want to use the agents so that without affecting the output or without affecting your thing, adds to the entire thing. So your role is going to change. Your new skills are required to be developed. You have to learn agentic AI architecture, the agentic AI strategy, and most important is governance and evaluation. You should know how to evaluate the output of your agentic AI. Because if you give the same funda, garbage in, garbage out. You cannot say that because agentic AI has done it for you, it's not my problem. Still you are the owner. But as a owner, you should know how to check, what to check, how to evaluate, what is my governance project, what agentic dashboards. You have to develop that. You can't do anything manual because the agentic AI architecture is moving very fast. Micro iterations are happening. The cycles which you are doing in 2 weeks, they are doing in 2 minutes. So you should have some mechanism in place, intelligent mechanism in place, which can check the intelligence of your agentic AI architecture. Your role will be very important because you will require to put the guardrails. Check and balances has to be in place. See, like you have a big plant, manufacturing plant, where a lot of CNC machines are working. You don't see any supervisor there or a mechanical people there. That doesn't mean that check and balances are not required. So it is very important what you have been doing, that quality and quantity will improve, will enhance, will require more skills, more knowledge on your behalf. And the basic principle of Agile will be amplified using agentic AI. Impacts quite visible, what we discussed, that cycle times compressions will happen. So instead of big sprints, micro sprints using your agentic AI. Human role migration, you have to take care of your architecture, which will include your backend, your front end, orchestration of the infrastructure, what is the governance tool, what is the mechanism to evaluate all those things. And you should be aware of that what could be the problem. So I will leave you with this word, hallucinated architecture. Very important. I'll give you a hint. You write a agentic AI architecture and you assume, or you use AI to write that architecture and you assume this is good. This is great. So you have to come from that hallucination because there can be accuracy problem. AI models always have some level of or some degree of accuracy. So if you are not addressing that, you may end up in an architecture which will pull you down. Cognitive offloading debt. Anybody heard of this thing? Even in a use of a AI model, what happens? You give it to AI and get the result. You are not using your brain to write something, answering something which you can do. You are not using your cognitive intelligence. So every time for writing a code, you tell the agent, your code writing skills are down. So that is why you see a lot of ads. Even if you don't know coding, you can write your website. So this is cognitive debt. You actually lose your technical knowledge here, or it will start coming down. You have to take care of that.
So more like calculators, right? So
absolutely. See, in the early days, we were asked to learn tables. So if you know tables, you can multiply, you can come out with the calculations very easily, verbally. But the moment you start using, so there is no brainer. If a guy knows how to use calculator, he need not, or he doesn't know tables, he can use calculator and do the things. But that problem is that you don't require that intelligence. You need a dumb guy to use a calculator. That is what? That is the cognitive debt you end up if you are relying everything on agentic. That is again generative. That is the guy. See, for us, that is obsolete technology. We use it. We still use calculator. Yeah. But I'm saying if we are only stuck in generative AI, bad for us. But in the agile world, if we are using a lot of tools, and you are using wrong tool to generate a code, you will end up somewhere else.
I think there's a very interesting analogy here, and I was doing a lecture for college students, and they asked me, there's a person who is generating a website using AI, and I am doing it manually. How am I supposed to function better than that person? So I said a very interesting thing about the same thing only, cognitive offloading, where if I am getting something done from AI and I don't know what is right and wrong, there's no sense. But if I understand what is right and wrong and then I'm getting it generated just because of the speed and accuracy, then and I also verify it. I know what is right, what is wrong. Then it makes sense. But for a dumb person, it is still an AK-47.
Absolutely. Because to understand what agent is writing for you, you need to have the intelligence. You can't outsource your intelligence again just to, this agent has written a code for you and this agent has tested that code for you. You are already surrendering to the agents.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing that industry is looking forward to have more efficiency, more output with less human intervention, to have less cost to the overall project. But how they are dealing or evolving in terms of how much AI is good and how much AI is bad. So I have gone through one conference earlier as well where there were lot of interactions were around good AI and bad AI, the habits around it.
Absolutely.
So how industry is building parameters around that as well. So that is to be also discussed along with the demand that industry is making right now, that we had to lower the cost of the project and the delivery altogether, excluding humans, reducing the human efforts and everything, but that has to be parameterized.
See, your point
as
is
well, yeah.
100% valid. Now, the guardrails have to put at the model level or the architecture level, or how you use it at that level. It depends upon how we do it. See, check and balances you will decide. See, गाड़ी आपको चलानी है, you have to follow the rules.
I do understand, but at the industry level, from the layers that you
See,
you also
industry is
come,
coming up
yeah.
with responsible AI. So they have their own way of putting that check and balances. That if I, you heard of cyber security. You heard of model poisoning. So you can actually corrupt the models the way you feed the data.
Correct. Yeah.
Simple. Maybe tomorrow you write a code and write a anti-code and create a different category of AI security, model security. But you are right. What you are saying, I have a point that when you are doing deployment and monitoring, you have to do check and balances. You have to actually say, okay, what I will check. When agent is writing the code so fast for me, what I have to do? How I will check? What dashboard I will monitor? There has to be that place. Otherwise, it is going to eat up a lot of things. I will get a flag that I don't know how to use my agentic AI architecture because I don't know how to control that, I don't know how to monitor that, so I don't know what is good or bad, how it is eating me. So definitely at every stage the efficiency is going up. Cost-wise, cycle time-wise, reduction of even infrastructure use. This is the risk and governance and guardrails you need to put. I feel that upskilling and role safeguard, this is very important. So you need to have human approval gates, audits and traceability you need to have. You need to define metrics in a very, very different way. If you are using your agentic AI in your Scrum, you will have to see that what and how you will measure them. How you use QA in the agentic AI. This can be a very good topic to. So what is the playbook? What you have to do? Redefine the rituals. How you can redefine when you are using this agentic AI architecture because it is going to impact. It is going to reduce the cycle times. It is going to reduce the cost. It is going to increase the iteration rate very fast. You define the guardrails, what check and balances you have to do. Even the quality of data going into your cycle you have to see that. Today there are architectures where you can ingest the data in real time from multiple sources. You can create the agentic workflows with the real-time data. So start with the pilot. Most important, again, I will come back that you have to upskill your knowledge on the agentic AI architecture. Not just creating the architecture, how you will monitor it, govern it, play with it, monitor. Your teams will work with that. You have to work on that. I know there are certain teams, world-class engineering team, what I heard from the VP of engineering that they use the tool, they train the people, they implement, and by the time that cycle is over, the tool is obsolete. So the bottom line is agentic AI reveals fragile agile rituals, amplifies the outcome-focused practices. So whatever you are doing, it has to have, you do that. Basically, it is not that is new. So when integrated with thoughtful governance and human-centered role design, it delivers better and greater output. Now the question to all of you as leaders, how quickly can your organization redesign agile rituals around a hybrid human agent architecture workforce? Again, take into consideration that it is going to be a hybrid. You can't have only agentic AI based teams. It is going to be hybrid, but you have to have the knowledge how to handle the agentic AI and what you will do when you have a hybrid structure. So my suggestion, I leave it here, is that start with the pilot, start playing with it, learn, use it, fail, and then learn, and then fail, and then learn. Not one tool is the great tool. You will see, and not one agent is a great agent. One company giving you one agent is not. Define your own agentic architecture. Define the way you will handle the data flow, your workflows through agentic workflows, and how you will use that, what guardrails you will use, what is the governance mechanism you will put, what are the dashboards you will use, and definitely everything is here to basically help the agile world. Take that in a positive way. It's a big opportunity for all of us. going to the next level, delivering the agile principles which we have learned. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rajiv. And may I request Sanatan to give the token of thanks to.
I think I have
I know it's. Okay. So what we are going to do next is. Just give me a minute here. On it. On it. On it. Okay. Can you hear me? Shall we? Right. We could have. Right. Okay, listen. So the thing is, I was not supposed to do this session. And there was someone else, Shalini Mittal, right? She was supposed to be here, but she is not well, so that's why she is not able to come. So I am doing just a filler, right? I haven't prepared anything, so this is not aligned with the so-called AI or agentic AI, right? But this is more about the common sense, which I believe is not so common nowadays, right? Sorry? Right. And I actually already presented this session in one of the other events. So for those who have attended that, I bored you on that day, and I'm going to bore you again today. So let's see. So how many of you believe this? We could have saved Titanic. Yeah, yep, me too. I agree. Okay. The thing is that another interesting, I think some of you already know, all these events or session, I always start with my self-promotion. Right? So this is about me. We can spend maybe another 10, 15 minutes reading on that, and then maybe the remaining 10 minutes on the session. Right? Okay, no worries. I think we can move on. Do you remember this? Really great? Everyone wants to be in this? No? How about this? No? Not so good? Yeah, I agree. So, this is how it all started. So there were two gentlemen, and you can, for those who have seen the movie, the Bruce Ismay, so he was the same guy, if you remember, who took the boat and, right? And JP Morgan, the original JP Morgan. JP Morgan was the financer. So the company name was the White Star Line. They had a dream, what they want to build the largest or the biggest ship ever made. And that's how it started in 1910, I believe, early 19s. right? And they started with 3 ships: Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. They started with all 3. The first one to be productionized or launched, yeah, Britannic. So the first one to be launched was the Olympic, right? Olympic was put into service, right? But because of some reason, it met with an accident. Minor one, not a major one, but it met with a minor accident, right? And it had returned to the port for 3 weeks of service. While it, in the meantime, the production or the work on Titanic was also going on, right? So now there were 2 scenarios, or maybe there was a case to solve. The first is the Olympic, which was already in service. It was generating revenue for the company, right? If we delay it by 3 weeks, which means we are going to lose our revenue. On the second part, we had Titanic, which was not finished yet. It was still in WIP state. People were working on it, right? And if we delay it further, it is going to delay the release of it. So what will you do in this case? What would be your decision? If you are the owner of this company. Hey, don't worry, not so critical. Olympic should go first. Reason being, already in service. It is generating money. It is generating revenue. And that's what they did. Right? They moved away their people from Titanic to Olympic for 3 weeks. Yes, sir. You said all 3 were happening in parallel. No, not in parallel. Sorry, I may have quoted. It's not in parallel, but they start. When you said Olympic came for repair, sorry. One by one. First the Olympic went, then they started working on Titanic, and then the third one was there. And you are right, that's what they did. So they moved their people from Titanic to work on the Olympic so that it can get fixed and it can go into the production and start generating revenue. All that is good, and that's a very common thing to do, right? It works okay till the time you see this graph. So by delaying, because the 3 weeks of work was moved to Olympic, so which means the Titanic was delayed by 3 weeks. The release of Titanic was delayed by 3 weeks. So if you look at the original date was, Titanic was supposed to be shipping or maybe on the sea by 20th of March. But then it went, the revised date was 10th of April, 3 weeks delay. If you look at the iceberg activity, March was quite okay. And that's a 1912 data. But in April, the spike went up. Because there was too much of iceberg activities in April as compared to March, right? So chances of getting an accident or maybe hitting an iceberg was more. And that's what happened. I will come to it, right? And that's what happened, right? So the point here is, when we talk about so-called, and especially people who are from the Agile, Scrum, all those background, when we talk about the word value, value is not always about the dollar, right? So when you are measuring your value, right, you have to take into account so many other things. Those so many other things, maybe I will cover those, but if you look at it, there are a lot of other factors that helps you in defining your value. So don't compare it, value means just the dollar. It may be because of the technical dependency. It may be because of the availability of that person. It may be because of the dependency on a vendor. It may be some external circumstances. Right, so that's the first point I would like to put, that whenever you are working, whenever you are defining, whatever work you are picking up, right, and when you have to prioritize two works, so don't just look at the monetary part of it. Right, there are so many things which can help you in defining that. All okay? Yes, sir, you had a question.
There's a data that suggests that the iceberg activity peaks up in April and May. But before Titanic or after Titanic, how many accidents used to happen with big ships with iceberg hitting? So from that perspective, these data come into perspective only when something has gone bad. There is data probably, it is there, but we don't even see that there could be a risk with the heightened activity of iceberg. So there are hundreds of things that as a leader I may see, I may not, decide to see.
Yep.
But something has to fail, and how big it could be, that defines the whole architecture later on. So something had failed which was very, very big. But before Titanic and after Titanic, how many ships have actually sunk into the ocean hitting an iceberg? That data is still there, which is not being looked into. Because Titanic was big, there were too many casualties, that's why it became a heightened affair, and then this data came into picture. Now it is a data, but before that it wasn't. So somewhere like Y2K also, someone has to do a mistake to actually come to that conclusion that something was missed. So
I agree, I completely agree, right? And that's what we do. We always learn from making mistake, right? But if you look at our lifespan, our life is not too long, or our life is too short to make all the mistakes ourselves, right? And this is in a quote actually which I learned. There was a consultant from, there was a company named Personal Point. It was on the very first day of my professional life. I still remember that. It was 18 September 1995. Right? And that person said that if few people learn from others' mistakes, most of the people are the other people. Right? And that's very true. Right? But I agree, we always learn from our mistake, but we should not keep making mistake also. Right? So we have to keep in a balance. Right? I completely agree. Right? And you are right on the second part also when we said why Titanic became in a big news, because of the so many other things, right? Because of the casualty, because it was the really lost thing, and it was the very first voyage of that ship, right? And it was actually moving between England and North America, right? So there were so many other factors. Okay, move on. Good. I think this is a very simple question. You may have seen multiple times. How? What are those multiple factors? No, fair enough, and that's what happens. I think you may be listening this from your management a lot, or especially from your customer, right? And that's what I think there is a concept called as yes, ma'am. Yeah. Fair enough. And that's where actually your success criteria also help, how you are going to measure it. And there may be a different success criteria between a sales team versus a delivery team versus a customer, right? All may have a different way, right? And that's, there's a concept all of you may have heard about it, the difference between a project versus a product. All of you understand that? How do you measure the success of a project? Some of you may be in a project management role. From the delivery point of view, from the revenue, maybe from the scope, cost, budget, right, all that stuff. How do you measure the success of a product now? Yep, market response, adoption, right, ROI of it, and that's what the difference is. Users feedback. So there are chances you may have delivered all the scope within budget, within time, but still it can be unsuccessful. This is something similar to the operation is successful, but the patient is dead. We did as per the process, but patient didn't survive, right? And that's what for those who have done PMI, PMP, this is an iron triangle you have heard about, right? And that it used to be. It used to be during and there are some specific projects where this works. Nothing wrong with it, by the way. Hey, we cannot ignore the cost, we cannot ignore the time, and we cannot ignore the scope also. That's very fair, right? But this may be for a different kind of project. May or may not be applicable to the work we are doing, right? And that's where we end up compromising on the quality, that's okay. So the project versus product. Now think about the iron triangle of Titanic, right? We said that this was the first shape, maybe the largest shape, right? It was the first voyage, right? It was streaming at the speed of 41 km per hour, just 4 km per hour, less than the maximum speed. It received 6 warnings, or even more than 6. 6 was the biggest warning, right? But it received so many warnings from the operator and from the nearby ships also, right? Hey, there is an iceberg, there is an iceberg, right? But captain said, no, let's go. Right? The goal was to reach on time, on or before time. Survival was not guaranteed. And that's what happened. Right? So be careful. Whatever work you are doing, always keep your customer in mind. Define those success criteria also, how you are going to measure the success of your work. It may not always be the delivery. For some cases it is, no doubt about it. But you should be very clear about it. What is the success criteria? And does it really make sense? And does your success criteria, your customer success criteria is aligned or not? You may still say that, hey, we did as per your customer requirement, but your customer is still complaining about it. Right? Okay, move on. Do you know these guys? Do you remember from the movie? Who are they? Operators? The wireless operator, right? What their job was? Their job was to pass the message of passengers, or not the passenger, basically to transmit the message between nearby ships. That was their primary job, right? They were not hired by the White Star Line. They were being paid by another company. For those who are from the telecom background, you may have heard about a company named Marconi. Marconi is an antenna and telecom based company. So they were employed of Marconi. So though they were posted on this Titanic, right, but they were being paid by Marconi, right? So whatever message they are passing between two ships, that was free. That was free of cost. They were being paid, or they were charging for the message which they are passing for their passengers to their family. Right? So they were being paid, or they are getting money for the message which they were passing between the passenger and their family who were in either in UK or maybe in North America. Right? So that's where there was a conflict. Conflict between their job responsibility versus their rewards or the salary. Right? So if that is the case, I will always prefer to pass or work on the message for my passengers rather than the nearby ships. Right? And that's what happened. Right? Most of the other messages from the nearby ships were ignored. Why? Because they were busy in doing the other message. So for you, for those who are in that position, maybe in HR team or others. So just be careful. Your rewards and incentive, your metrics and measurement drives your people's behavior and action. No doubt about it. So you have to be careful, right? And it doesn't matter how best you define it, there will always be an issue. People will figure out how to manipulate it, right? And I have a story. Have you heard about this thing called as a Cobra effect? No? Okay, this is a real story. This happened during the British era. During the British era, Old Delhi, right? So there were too many cobras, right? And obviously people were suffering from it. So what Britishers did, they came up with an idea that they started paying to customer or to paying to people who catch a cobra and bring to the Britisher. Right, and people were, and they, what was their idea? Their idea was to, so that they can get rid of the city will be clean from the cobra. But what people did? They started breeding cobras. Right, now everyone started breeding cobra just to get that money. So later on, Britisher got to know about it. Hey, this is what is happening. And they immediately stopped the scheme. The day the scheme was stopped, what happened? People who were breeding those cobra, they left them on the road. Now there were more cobras than when they started. Right, and that's what, if you look at your organization, your team, that may be happening. So be careful in the way you are designing your reward scheme. Right? The intention was good, right? But still. So just be careful. Right? And there are so many other stories or examples around it. Okay, move on. So the other interesting thing we always do in our team, we keep changing people, right? हाँ यहाँ पे ठीक नहीं चल रहा, let's move it to the other team. 2 दिन का काम है वो कर लें, right? All those things happen, right? People are working across multiple projects, and that's what happened with the Titanic also. So this was the original crew, the chief officer, first officer, and second officer, right? But what happened? With the new crew, the chief officer was replaced from Olympic. The Olympic chief officer became the chief officer for Titanic. The chief officer became the first officer, and the first officer became the second officer. Looks okay, right? Nothing wrong. ठीक है, आज राकेश इधर कर लेगा, वो उधर कर लेगा. That's perfectly fine, no issue. And the second officer was said, बोला कि जाओ आप, you can go home and take rest. Do you remember this scene? When the guy shouted, there's an iceberg, iceberg, iceberg. But why they were not able to see it from, why they were so close and only then saw the iceberg? What was missing? They were looking for something else. The binoculars. Binoculars were missing. And where were those binoculars? And that was the responsibility of the second officer.
So, this seems to be like typical project gone wrong, and then all the RCAs start.
Right. Handover ठीक नहीं हुआ था, केटी ठीक से नहीं हुई थी. and all this data is available on internet. Right? If you search for it, you will find everything. Binocular was there, it was locked. The keys were with the second officer. Well, that's what he is saying, na, KT ठीक से नहीं हुई. Transition ठीक से नहीं हुआ. हाँ, that's what happened. There will always be something which will miss out. So just be careful. So just to recap, so understand the concept of value. Right? Just be careful on it. It is not always dollar. Focus on the outcome and the end result, not just the completing your task or completing your project. Right? The metrics and measurement should be outcome and goal focused, right? You should be very careful about it, the way you are defining. And don't move people in and out of your team random. We are not machine. Right? We are not something that, हाँ ठीक है ये इसको उठा के इधर कर दिया वो आके कर लेगा. No, that doesn't work. And especially that may be just me, my personal opinion, right? Whenever and not about the notice period as such, but generally the knowledge transition happened which on the last month or maybe last week. I don't know how does it work. It never works. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Right? We cannot pull out a brain of a person from a person A to and put it on the person B. Never. But still we keep doing it. That may be more of an industrialization time. Right? You have to click on this checklist and all that stuff. We are still copying it in our software development. Good. Yes, sir.
Maybe I am jumping the queue, but right now also we are following the everything the same which we did in Titanic. So who is responsible for that?
That's a good one. I don't want to answer it here, but
We just mentioned we are still copying from the legacy ways of working. Software industry being so old, if I can say so, and so mature to an extent, why have we not been able to mature the SOPs or learn from the pitfalls that others would have felt, or they have clearly demonstrated that this doesn't work, but still there is no evolution that we are seeing in the process. Agile is probably the biggest and the last evolution that we saw from the waterfall model.
yep.
We haven't seen anything evolving on top of that.
Okay, my short answer would be, we are the very first generation of this software industry, right? But if you look at the industrialization or the construction, all that, they may have seen maybe 2 or 3 generations. So for us also, it may take another generation or 2. Only then we will. I don't know. Yeah, that's the first part. Second, if you look at the student who are passing out now, they may not have heard about something called as a waterfall. Right? So the waterfall, in that case, with them becoming a manager or a team lead, then the waterfall stuff will be go. But again, I always say that there is nothing wrong with the waterfall. Waterfall is really good, but maybe for a different kind of work. Right? So don't blame or crib about the waterfall. Right? That's the second part. Third is, it's more about our intention also, the way you want to work. Right? That's where the ethics parts comes into play. Right? What kind of person you are. Right? So those are the things. I will come to you, sir. Yeah. Piyush, sorry, you had a question.
Who is responsible for that?
Yeah, if you start looking for the responsibility or accountability from others, things will keep going on. Right? Whatever you can do, let's start with it. But I understand that there is always somebody who is accountable for, especially if you look at a project way, right? Or that group of people. Person who is sitting at the top, that person is accountable, no doubt. Right? But it doesn't mean if that person is not doing his or her work in the right way, I won't do. Right? I always say that I'll take a quote from my other talk, that if someone puts a gun on your head and asks you to shoot a third person, and if you follow the order, then what? Will that person be accountable? No. You will be charged for murder because you did. So same is applicable to your work also. So if someone is sitting on top of you, even if he or she is saying something may not be doing in the right way, and you are following the order, it's not his or her fault. It's you. Yes, sir.
So just want to add and give the whole discussion another perspective. I'm not sure how much this would be agreed by the panel and all, but I would like to emphasize something that human nature is quite very avoidant, that we try to avoid and push the responsibility to others. The one example that I would like to take regarding the Anthropic recent release and everything happened, the market crash among the whole IT industry has been seen to a greater extent, and that was the big news last month. And so it's not just the movement from one technology to another or the process like agentic AI or earlier from waterfall to agile. I would like to take a minute to get people address this problem altogether, that the industry has to stand up to to create the regulatories around it, and industry once have that regulations uh, founded strongly, that could be followed when such changes happen, that could be the right path for everyone to follow. Like when from waterfall to agile happened, things was alarming, like how we had to adapt. The the degree of uncertainty whenever the industry gets disrupted with new thing, that is what has to be taken into account by these regulatory bodies, that we as a industry as a whole had to build at some point of pivot, and that would be the right, I would say, the path that we could take, and everyone could look up to them, a group of people, an organization like within the IT industry that can guide us in such changes decade to decade.
Yep, that's right. But again, we will come to you, sir. Maybe the last question before we.
I'm not sure how much I made
No, you
sense,
made
but
you made it. No, that's
that is what the need of the hour I always think.
I will go back to your first statement when you say as in a human nature is more of an avoidance. I would say that is just specific to your professional work. When you go to your personal side, how many times you have said that, hey, these kids are not my responsibility, or I will not take care of my family? We take the ownership. We can't avoid that part. We never avoid that. But yeah, it all. No, it's not the ownership. I would say it's kind of the work you are doing, right? It's kind of profession you are in. There are still some profession, right? Most of the time, if you look at the armed forces side, they can't avoid. They have to face. It's more of a profession we are in. That's maybe the. Sorry, sir. Maybe just last question, and then we.
Just to add one thing, because the previous session when happened, we were always discussing that it's the responsibility for an individual to adapt and grow and learn things. But there's no path specifically. Like the other person, someone added that the demand is not there. Why? How things is changes. So the path is not there altogether. Or sometimes there's uncertainty because there's nothing being regularized altogether. So the push from the industry is to the individual, and we are saying that how the industry want us to adapt, let us know. So that's why
We'll discuss it during the break. I know.
Sure.
We'll discuss it during the break. Yes, sir. You had a question. Done? Okay. Sorry.
But if resource A is working for some, let's say 10 action items, and that can be done by resource B and he can be utilized for somewhere else. So those decisions are made based on some, probably some what they have seen in the past projects.
No, there
So
will
it's-
always
it's
be.
not always we tend to find accountability, who is accountable for this failure, but then these decisions are made, and it's in our everyday life. It's not something.
It happens, and which is
wrong.
fair, nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
right? We are not saying, but we have to be careful. We should be aware of the impact of it. That's the only thing. Otherwise, we can't keep, hey, you are going to be part of this project for the 1 year. That may not work.
Exactly.
right? You have to keep moving people, right? And just to add into it, maybe the last thing. So the moment you start or maybe using the word people versus resource, right? It clicks in your brain, and you start treating those people as in a different way, right? If you start keep calling them as a resource, then you may be more of a bench, chair, and laptop. Right? So just be careful. Okay, I will stop here. So thanks a lot. Thanks. So I hope it was worth your time. Good. So it was just in a filler, not in a full session. Okay, so what we are going to do, we have a tea break, right? So what's the time, sir? You are 10, 11:30. So we will take maybe 5 minutes extra because we started late. So 11:50, let's come back. We will start at 11:50. So we will give you 5 minutes.
introduction about myself. I'm Adit Nautiyal. I'm leading the Agile practice COE/COE at Genpact, data, tech, and AI. Before this, I was with Accenture, and before that, a number of firms. So today, it's an honor to be talking to you in terms of, the Agile, especially in terms of the interplay between Agile and, AI, right? So, with that, let me kind of, call out 3 points, three questions actually. Don't have to answer that, but just keep that thought with you. First of all, does something come to mind when I say, Claude, COBOL? You can just tell me, does something, don't tell me what comes to mind, but does something come to mind? How's this? Better? Okay. So does something come to mind when I say Claude and COBOL? Okay. Thank you. Is this better? Okay. What about the second thing is that have you come across situations where you find that your sprint planning meetings are running like forever? It's taking a long time, but it's not getting much. Have you seen that situation ever? Okay. And what about, in your backlog, grooming backlog prioritization meetings, have you come across situations where you find that your product owner has to kind of think twice, number of times in terms of what should be the prioritization like? And then you see that there's intuition-based, qualitative, subjective-based decision taken. You have come across that situation? Okay. So just keep these three things in mind, and we will revisit these in some future slides. So, look, today we're going to be talking about the new Agile in the face of AI disruption, and we'll be looking at it in the lens of three things actually. One is the what. We'll not dwell too much on what, because this is building up upon what Rajiv already said about agentic AI, right? And you all know about Agile, right? So but we're going to be taking a quick look at that. And the second thing is why. What is this interplay between Agile and AI that we're really talking about? How can it help? How does it help you, me, and the other Agile practitioners in the Agile, the entire industry? And then the third, I would say the most important, what, how? It's good to say, okay, fine, we will implement Agile in certain, AI in certain Agile workflows. The question is, how do we do that, right? There are issues. There can be issues. In any transformation, there would be certain issues that we need to address, right? Like Agile transformation happened, AI transformation is happening. Agile transformation, big success. 95% of all organizations, 94% actually, are actually using Agile. And I'm not talking of software only. And most of these are using Scrum, but that is besides the point. But then when Agile transformation started happening, you would have noticed a lot of pushback initially. Think of it like that. It is kind of, we are evolving to, I think your point earlier, right? That in terms of evolution, what is the next big evolution? This is the big evolution. AI is the next big evolution, and be kind of prepared that this is not going to be the end of evolution. We're going to be continuously evolving. After AI, there's going to be something else coming around. That's fine. So that is all about growing up. Now this is about the Agile part of it, and the AI part. So we are going to be talking about as I said, the what, why, and the how. Agentic AI and the AI, the Agile methodologies. And the why is, why should we be integrating AI at all? Okay, how will it help you? How will it help your lives and mine and everyone else's? And how will it enhance collaboration and decisioning? Do you find that to be an issue? Collaboration between teams across shores, do you find that to be an issue today? Sometimes? Sometimes, right? And then challenges and considerations. And this is where the true leadership comes in. How do we tackle these challenges, and how do we take these considerations for the agentic AI adoption. I don't claim to be, having all the answers, right? But we are, as I said, going to be evolving continuously. Any questions after that, we can always be discussing offline also. Okay, so with that, look, if we say the core agentic AI principles, Rajiv has touched upon that in detail, and I'll build upon that in a quick way. Autonomy in AI, so we are talking of autonomous decision making, operating independently from human control. Okay? Human in the loop is important. But what we are now also talking about is autonomous decision making, adaptability and responsiveness. Okay? Always be adapting, always be responding, and that's what AI is all about. These AI systems perceive and react to environmental changes. So only yesterday over lunch, I had some relatives come, and we were talking about, oh, AI is good and all that, but then what about, we're not talking about today's conference, by the way, we're just talking about this. And, somebody said in my, family, she said, but then machines can't, they can't think, can they? They can't perceive. I said, no, they can't perceive. But then can they do sentiment? Can they understand sentiment? Can they do anything on sentiment analysis? Why not? We do, right? There's something called sentiment analysis. In fact, for that matter, from a sentiment analysis perspective, we have agile tools which can identify, AI tools, pardon me, which can identify if a person has nodded in a certain way. I'm just giving slight drama out here, okay? Drama is always good. So if a person is, behaving in a certain way, certain body language, etc., etc., and then that person, that tool can actually go back and look at the data points. Maybe this person has got this thinking. Sometimes if we, for example, ask in certain meetings, and for example, if we do, happy, sad index, right? Sometimes people say that, yeah, we are happy. Not necessarily always true. How many of you, raise your hands, believe this? And that is where also one part of what sentiment. So I was actually talking about this to her. And I said, this is what it is. Okay? So while the AI tools cannot understand sentiment by themselves, they can understand, they can analyze, and then they can tell us more about what sentiments are than we could possibly have. Okay? So goal-oriented behavior, again, clear goal orientation, proactively pursuing objectives to, augment human workflows, and of course, advanced AI technologies. Again, basically, we're talking about enhance the autonomous agency. Autonomy, autonomy, autonomy. That is the key word out here. Okay? So, self-thinking and autonomous. That's a key word, and that's not always bad. In fact, that's good. And I've got certain slides in which I'm going to talk about why it's good. And there are certain challenges that would come across the way, how we can possibly tackle some of those. So let's go on, and I'll not drain these slides. This is Agile frameworks. Just take a quick look at this. This really talks about, I will just touch upon two things. One is that in the core Agile framework, there are some parts of Agile frameworks that lend themselves particularly well to Agile transformation. Some of them being iterative development and cross-functional collaboration, and flexibility, customer-centric delivery, and incremental progress. Right? Integration with automation, the last part, transparency and responsiveness support integrating AI. So it's actually not that big a deal. It is easier comparatively. If you look at from an Agile perspective, integrating AI into Agile workflows is comparatively easy. It's almost like as if Agile was created thinking that there's going to be autonomy, there's going to be autonomy, there's going to be automation sometime in the future. Because of these points, transparency and responsiveness. But then take a look at this powerful index, this powerful metric. 95% of organizations have adopted Agile, 94 point something. Okay, this is what we were talking about. This is based on the State of Agile report, by the way. Now, without dwelling too much on this, because you all know about Agile, but then this is, let's take maybe 3 or 4 minutes on this particular slide in terms of what we are talking about, what is agentic AI? What are some key focus, some key features of agentic AI? First is automation of, routine tasks. So what we're talking about synergies between agentic AI and have we gone back a slide? No, we have not. Okay. So we now talk about, okay, fine, what are the synergies? How do we build upon those synergies? So just take a look at this. We're saying agentic AI automates repetitive decision tasks, freeing agile teams to focus on higher value activities and innovation. So I would want you to think about this sentence for a minute. Okay, leaving our agile teams to work upon more strategic work instead of the administrative work, the user story creation, the document, confluence updation, exactly, great point. So those kind of things, what if our delivery teams are, freed up and asked to work upon more value-adding part, more, things in terms of what could be next, that kind of a thing. So that is a synergy. Okay, this is the interplay between agentic AI and Agile. Another one is predictive analytics for risk forecasting. Obviously, right, forecasting risks is always a very, very big deal. If you can forecast risks and in the bargain also, use predictive analytics to help agile teams forecast these risks and then accordingly take them to fruition, right? So the third I would say is enhanced collaboration and productivity, and this is what one question that I had asked at the beginning itself. Do you face this problem? These are some gut punching, percentages, metrics. Just take a look. Based on certain studies, based on a study by Complexity Science Hub at the bottom I've mentioned, look, typically development work can get a benefit of 4 to 20% of productivity improvement. Think of that. 4 to 20% of all the things that developers do can actually have a benefit of 24 to 20% productivity impact. But what is really more gut punching is this. 40 to 80%, okay, it's a huge amount of productivity improvement is possible for knowledge work. When I say knowledge work, I'm saying things like writing user stories, okay, creating. There was a time, in some other organization where somebody said, fine, we're going to be writing user stories, we want to prioritize that. Can we maybe going forward use, AI? I said, what? You prioritize, you estimate user stories, that's a very much team thing, am I right? It's a personal thing. How can you have a machine do that? Why should you do that in the first place? It's not right. But surprise, surprise, that's what's happening now. Am I right? That's what is going to be happening now. But all of that is going to be leading to this huge benefit. If this can be done well, 40 to 80% productivity improvement. So now we have spoken of why, now we have spoken of why, and let's talk of this automating routine tasks with agentic AI. Routine tasks, right? So basically agentic AI automates routine tasks such as status reporting, etc. So that is something. And then reduction of human error. Can somebody speak on this? What do you think? Do you think AI can help reduce human error, and if so, why? I don't want just this to be an information download session. You guys, speak up. What are your thoughts, please?
Sometimes there's a perception issue in terms of product management where product feels that what they have written could be understood by others. So that's where a perspective issue can easily be sorted by AI, where AI actually looks at the statements and then finds out what is a better way of writing that statement so that others can perceive. So a lot of times we are all actually guilty of writing things that we feel shall be perceivable. So AI can actually bridge that gap to a lot of extent. Moreover, there's another way of writing user stories when we write that in BDD format, behavior driven. So that is what I've seen is when I have used agentic AI to actually write those kind of behaviors out of a normal user story. The results have been tremendous. So the errors that could actually come out because of not understanding the story properly have been nipped in the bud.
I think that's very, very well said. That makes sense. That's where we. So I think as of now, that is I would say, something that's not the norm. What you're just now saying, that is the outlier. But slowly, those outliers are going to become the norm. Very slowly, very very fast. Actually, I should say, very very rapidly. And as Rajiv said, that it's going to happen faster than we think. It's happening right now. Okay. I remember this discussion where in the morning we were saying, right, about how the speed of AI adoption. It's really speeding up. If you look at the AI-driven insights and metrics,
excuse me, sir.
okay, autonomous.
Hello, sir. I have one query here.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
So, sir, regarding that autonomous part, autonomy and control. So, I just wanted to know what parameters should we consider while ensuring the what level of autonomy and what level of the control. So, can you please give some highlight on this point?
Yes. So that control and the guardrails that we spoke of, right? So it is about the guardrails and how those guardrails should be built. It should be built on at least two points. One is in terms of when we say what should be the autonomy, what is the customer requirements, and the second thing is that it should be also based upon historical velocity or historical other inputs. So you all of us know that AI is not much of what AI, some of what AI says, we need to cross verify. That's how AI itself is going to be increasing. But to your point, it's about identifying what is the requirement and what are some areas where things have already gone wrong. But then that's not always a thing. There's a third point, and that is in terms of the domain that we're talking about. Sometimes what happens is that if, for example, you're a toy maker, you're a toy maker. Yeah. You're at less risk if you make a mistake than if you're a pharma company. Am I right? Yeah. Then you're dealing with lives.
Yes,
that's
sir,
what.
one
Yes.
So, as we can see, many of the agentic AI, they are doing many of the tasks for us, right? So, we just wanted to ensure like they are doing tasks as per our expectation. So, can we do the audit? Is there any mechanism in place already this for doing the audits? Can we check, can we ensure whether whatever the agentic AI they are doing, they are up to the expectations, whatever we are expecting from them? So, do we have any tools, framework in place already? Any organization, are they using that thing? Or
yes, there must be those audits, and in terms of leaving the audit trails, those must be in place, and we can explore more on that.
So that is in place, or we are going to implement in the future?
Depends upon the maturity of the organization in terms of the AI transformation. Somewhere it is already in place, and in most of the places it is coming up to speed. But once it comes up to speed, is then going to become the norm. Right? So but that's a good point that we need to be continuously doing those audit trails. Anybody else? That's why we say human in the loop. You're right. That when we say ethical part, that's one reason, human in the loop. And that human in the loop is one way of ensuring that the ethics are taken care of. But then this being an algorithm, if we find that it's going off in terms of ethics, etc., we continuously improve upon that. That's that. Exactly. That's what I was saying, right? We need to regularly monitor and ensure that, that we continuously improve. That's right. Yes. Hmm.
where from past 6 months and they already developed a lot of agents and complete platform where all the internal complex banks tasks and their legal works, their financial works, those are already started moving in that way,
Exactly. So as I was saying, depending
right?
upon the maturity of the organization,
Yes.
Goldman Sachs is ahead of the curve, way ahead, right? So it's happening there.
So when
But
one bank starts, then
others,
others will not sit in the idle way
exactly,
because the
others
profit.
will not sit idle,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That's a good point. When GS starts implementing that in 6 months back or so, and the others would also be coming up. The JPMCs of the world and the others, I'm sure JPMC already has that in place. Now, one good thing is that today and going forward also, we are all students in this classroom. We are all learning, right? So that's what happens in a typical transformation. Be it, I don't know how many of you were around when Agile transformation was started to happen. How many of you? All of us were students, right? And then some became kind of leaders, some became teachers, and others became what? Students, remained students, and then they. So that's the situation where we are in right now. When you're in the middle of a big transformation, there are teachers and then there are students. Initially, all of us are students. Today, we're all of us students in some way or the other. So I'm very happy that we're having this discussion because we are jointly kind of taking this learning forward. Each and every one of us. It's a learning exercise. It's also an exercise of how we manage our fear. Big thing. How we manage our fear. Emotions, right? And that is one part of leadership. I'm going to be talking a bit about that. So, okay, fine. AI-driven bots autonomously gather metrics, update task boards. So again, the mundane tasks, but tasks which are very much required, so that you can then generate and work upon actionable insights. How does AI support the agile ceremonies? I did ask you guys a couple of questions, right, in the beginning, about sprint planning, about backlog prioritization. For examples, look, real-time data synthesis, agile AI can provide of the discussion points and agenda kind of management. Huge metric out here. 50% of your planning can 50% of all your planning time can be reduced using AI, and without your planning being negatively affected, correct? Negatively impacted. Do you think that's a big number? It's a huge number. Sorry? Yeah, it's a real number. It's a real number. It's based upon certain studies that were identified. If you noticed, what do you mean by it's a real number? You can't believe it. Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at this. But what we're saying is it can. But now if you take a look at this, so complexity science hub, okay? Can you see this at the bottom? As per this study, development 4 to 20% productivity improvement, knowledge, work, writing, user stories, 40 to 80% productivity improvement. That's what I was talking about earlier. These are numbers, okay, good numbers that sound good to spout, but they're actually true based upon these numbers. Having said that, yes, the adoption currently is low, but for wherever it is being adopted, that's what the numbers are. Going forward, I think that as the adoption increases, maybe the numbers also will pivot. My personal thinking is that is going to be at least here, even not if not more, because the AI knowledge that we have currently, that may get further improved, right? So which means that these numbers can get further improved. What about this metric, okay? Your release, 40% of your release cycle time can be shaved off. Take a look at this. 40% faster release. Your clients would get delighted. If I were your client, I would get super delighted. 40%. For that, we need to do certain things. Now, let's look at participation analytics. Okay, AI analytics track participation trends and provide. This may seem mundane. The last part that I'm talking about, but participation analytics. How many of you? Let's take a very simple thing. How many of you have trouble getting some of your team members attend your daily stand-up meetings? Hands up. How many of you have seen that? At least I have in my past. Good point. In fact, unfortunately, what's your name again? Vikrant, good point. So the thing is that unfortunately, there are also cases where people don't attend like physically also. When you ask them, they actually turn around and they say that I don't see value, which is good because then that means that they are being upfront with you. But then second thing is what you're saying is the disguised non-attendance. They are attending in person, but they're not there, right? That is what this is going to be. That's one example. That's what this is going to be helping. Imagine. This is a very small, very, very mundane example, but something that will eat away at your agile transformations. What about your sprint planning meetings, your backlog refinement meeting? I'm talking of relating to some very, very specific tasks where you find that not everyone is involved. Do you think everyone is involved in estimation properly? ये कह रहा है इतना story point तो मैं भी इतना बोलता हूँ. This is also okay with me. That's not right, right? That's not right. It's a very, very basic flaw. So this is something that this participation analytics, meeting effectiveness, enhancement. If we then go to improving the backlog prioritization, we're saying AI analyzes customer feedback and market trends, okay, to prioritize backlog items. But before that, I had called out one question that do you think that in your backlog prioritization, your product owners are identifying, taking certain decisions based upon maybe subjectivity? You remember this question I had asked? So what do you think? What do you think?
I'm a product manager myself, so I know I do it based on that, but then again that is backed by either historical data or historical sentiment on how my product is perceived or how my users would perceive what they perceive as value. So it may not be a rational answer right up front from the team, but down the line it all kind of like.
Okay. No, I think that makes sense. So yes, what you're saying is that there is an element, maybe if not a large element of gut, right? Which is totally understandable. But what we're talking about is machine learning scoring. Okay, machine learning can score your backlog items by the business value, by the complexity, risk for data-driven decision, and then they can provide a certain number. Okay, they can internally identify a number, and then they can say, okay, fine, this seems to be, it makes sense for you to not use gut, but go ahead and use data, like 100% velocity, 100% historical data. So that way you can, do away with qualitative intuition. That's something that, so these are some things that we don't think of, right? These are some things that we don't think of, but if we implement AI, these are some things that can actually start happening. And then if we talk of business impact, AI-backed backlog management improves the product alignment because of this gut part. As I said, it can identify more inputs, kind of more refined inputs, I should say. Reduces the scope churn and accelerates the time to market. Ultimately, go-to-market time is what we're looking at, right? Am I right? Go-to-market time. If you reduce that go-to-market time, and I just now said 40% potential reduction in your release cycles, what more do you want? I don't want anything more than that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and let's now talk about collaboration and decision making. How are we doing on time, sir?
You still have 10 minutes.
Okay. I think that 10 minutes is fine. So now if we now talk about the decisioning part, another very important part, predictive analytics and scenario modeling, this can enable rapid and informed decisions. Likewise, decision support systems, they integrate historical and real-time data to recommend optimal actions. Again, human error, reducing the bias, etc., and improved decision speed and accuracy, up to 35% decision cycles and more predictable outcomes in industry case studies. So case studies are available for that. If you look at adaptive learning and continuous improvement, agentic AI delivers process insights continuously by learning adaptively. Okay. Then AI-driven agile retrospectives. How many of you have problems in getting your team members speak up during retrospective? Sir, you're already smiling, huh? Everyone. If somebody were to ask me, Aditya, what is that one, only one ceremony, scrum, that, people don't do it properly, I would say one of the easiest, and that is retrospective.
It is one of the most ignored event.
Sorry, who said that?
I said that. I said
Okay.
that it is one of the most ignored event.
Absolutely, one of the most ignored, but this is that event which can actually drive innovation within your organization, within your program. Okay. Now, if you can actually do that, so AI-driven agile retrospectives means that agile AI uses data patterns in retrospectives to identify the bottlenecks and recurring issues, important recurring issues. Also identify which are the action items taken from last time. Retrospective tracking, actions tracking is a weak area across the board, across the world. Do you agree? Yes? Yeah, so then this can kind of help, more than help. I think it can really facilitate that. And business performance gains, businesses using AI for continuous improvement report 20% increase in velocity and sustained quality. Okay, so now the question is, so what? So what? We now need to have leadership. I mean, how do we have leadership in the new agile? We already have it, but this is quote unquote the new agile, means the agile with workflows integrating, with AI. How do we do that? What is the leadership there? So challenges and considerations for agentic AI adoption, I would say start with ethical concerns and transparencies, what some of you said initially, right? See, algorithmic bias issues, yeah, and then decision transparency, governance and oversight. So the leadership flavor here is ensure that we have governance and oversight and governance frameworks, ensure ethical compliance and proactive risk management in agile deployment. To your question, right, that we were saying we need to have continuous audits. So this is one part of it. We need to continuously govern, and that is what leadership needs to do, all of us. Now, if you come to the managing the human AI collaboration, very, very important point, clear role definitions. So we were speaking of RACI, right, some time back. We need to have a RACI chart actually. Back to the basics. Let's go back to school. This is back to the basics. We're saying we need to have clear roles and responsibilities between humans and AI. It seems to be a very dystopian world, right? A world like H.G. Wells has written it, or somebody has written a science fiction sort of a thing. Human will do this, AI will do this. That's what comes to mind. Something which kind of a science fiction, but it's not science fiction, it's reality. If we have this clear roles between humans and AI for a seamless collaboration, much of the work is already done in terms of leading the change. Another leadership of change is user training and onboarding. Proper user training is important, and onboarding. Managing resistance and trust. Okay, addressing fears of job loss, right? So it's a big deal. To addressing fears of job loss and building trust in AI recommendations, it's a process change that needs to, will take some time, but it needs to, and I'll give you some, I'll kind of leave you with some thoughts on that. See, and this is something which is very obvious that it would happen. One would think this fear, when I say it, I'm saying that this fear would happen. How can leadership address that? One way is by identifying a clear path. A, by being visible and by being, transparent. Instead of saying AI is coming, be ready. That's one way of saying. If somebody says AI is coming, be ready, I would say, my God, kya aa raha hai? But if somebody says AI is coming, be ready. And by the way, your role is now going to become from a business analyst to this, to prompt engineer. This is your role path. If this is told to me, if I am told that these are all the areas that are going to be, transformed, and that kind of a transparency is there, will I get more this thing, comfortable, excited and comfortable? In fact, yeah, forget comfortable, I'll get excited actually. Instead of a business analyst, I'm going to become doing a prompt engineering role. So that dotted line needs to be kind of very clearly delineated. That's one way of managing this fear of job loss. Also identifying, telling the people, see, everyone knows that if you do Agile, if you do AI in transformation, then people would be ultimately doing their more strategic work. But I think that is too, that's not vague, that's not clearly defined enough. Do you think so? So, we need to identify and we need to say that when you say strategic work, what strategic work? And that's exactly what I was saying, prompt engineering. So these are some things that will allay, the job related point and get that excitement quotient, as you said. Balancing automation and intuition and combining automation with the human intuition, okay, and trust. Trust in this AI tools, in AI systems is very important, and these are some ways of how we can do that. Ensuring data quality and security, we have discussed that, okay. So data security measures, continuous monitoring, implementing encryption and access controls, high quality and accurate data inputs, ongoing monitoring detects data drift and security threats. So these are some things that we have discussed, but this is the last slide I will leave you with. What it all means is that as leaders, we need to do these things. We need to be cognizant of these things. Enhancing team productivity, okay? Agentic AI integration boosts productivity. And I'll not go through the fine lines of all of this. I'll not drain the slide. Addressing challenges, we need to address the ethics and compliance, related challenges. But before that, of course, be cognizant of that. Continuous improvement, combining agile capabilities with agile AI capabilities with agile fosters continuous improvement, right? And of course, empowering organizations. This is all about ultimately empowering. So what's happening if you are implementing AI, you're actually becoming more agile, because agile is all about empowered team members, and that's what AI is going to be doing. So with that, I close and just 2 lines. See, we have come to a situation, we have come to a time where just pure agile will not cut it. Okay, so instead of that, adding to that is the engine of AI, and AI is that engine which will foster and which will create, and it's already creating the way that more business, more value addition can be done. That's one point. The second thing is that now the question is not whether we should adopt AI, whether we should scale AI or not. The question is when and how fast. With that, I close my discussion. Thank you.
Okay, we are moving to our last session, but before that, I have to say thank you.
What is this? Oh. चश्मा लगा के थोड़ा कोल्ड लगता है. Thank you. This is yours?
So while Shipra is setting up her laptop, we all are talking about this AI transformation. So I can share my experience, not with the AI transformation, but whatever happened maybe 10, 15 years back on this so-called agile transformation, right? So the way organization did is, they didn't change their organization, right? What they most of the time they did it, they try to fit or they try to change so-called Scrum or Agile to fit in their current organization structure, and it never worked. So same way, if you are going for so-called AI transformation, and if you are not changing your organization, right, then it is not going to work. And it is not just about changing roles or maybe having new titles, it's maybe the way we are functioning. So just be careful. And this is something I always say, that when we say agile, agile is more about getting fit, right? So you can't pay, buy a gym membership and send someone else to do on behalf of you, and you assume that, hey, you will get fit. That will never happen.
लिंक है मेल आईडी पे ऑलरेडी शेयर है
एडिटेबल राइट नाउ आपको वहाँ जाकर यूज करना पड़ेगा इसको डाउनलोड करके
So, hi everyone, a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, I am not going to bore you again because many of the things already Aditya and Rajiv has already talked about. But still, because what I'm going to discuss is the future of agile leadership, which just I think Aditya little bit touched upon already. But anyways, so before I start, I just wanted to check how many of you have used AI in past 24 hours? Maybe for emails, present, I think everyone, right? Everyone, because we are now in the habit of use to AI for even the small things. Even before coming, okay, like yesterday I said, okay, tomorrow is my presentation and all. What should I wear? A lot of things are coming. Okay, you can wear this, that, and that. Okay, now imagine, okay, let's imagine. What if your next team member is never sleeps, works 24/7, and still doesn't ask for the salary hike? So that team member is AI, and managing that kind of workforce requires a new kind of agile leadership, and that is what we are going to discuss today. Okay? So this is the high-level agenda. I will be covering evolution of leadership, rise of agentic AI, critical issues, challenges, and some examples and the case studies. So leadership then and now. we know, I mean, leadership, every decade, it is transforming. Earlier, industrial era, we called as a process leadership. Digital era, we called as agile leadership. Now, AI era, we called as, so we called as, in AI era, ecosystem, intelligent ecosystem leadership. Earlier we all know, traditionally, hierarchy is based on like, gut feeling. We know control and command from the top management. And of course, a slow cycle of adaptation. But today's leadership is now more collaborative, more adaptive, and it is designed for the speed and their resilience. Okay, this is what actually, because the slow cycle of adaptation is no longer, practical in the world where it is continuously changing. So we need to focus on how because the agile leadership is basically on the speed, rapid iteration, and continuous learning. This is what we talked about. So this slide is very important shift from, we have witnessing the rise of agentic AI, more than just, because AI just not just as a tool, it is becoming a team member. Autonomous action, rapid adaptation, and new paradigm. We know, like, usually, earlier what happened, when we instructed, when we decided, when we clicked, then it happens. We instructed the things, then now in the new era, new agentic AI, it has changes the equation. It can plan, it can learn from outcomes, it take decisions, suggest, actions, recommendations. So this is the autonomous action. It is continuously planning, deciding the things, suggesting actions, mitigation plans, etc., etc. Rapid adoption, we know according to many organizations, I think every organization now it is going to adopt the AI. And according to the BCG, Boston Consulting Group analysis, it is showing 1/3 of the organizations are already using agentic AI. And many more are planning to adopt soon. So the question for leader is not, no longer if, it is how fast we are going to adopt. And that is what the leadership is important, because they have to think, they have to decide based on the market, based on the organization's, trend and all, how fast we are going to adopt so that we can, be on the top on that. This is also very, very important because, see, we know agentic AI create massive opportunities, but it also create new leadership challenges. A few of them I have mentioned here, trust versus supervision, okay. So let's take an example. How much autonomy do we give to AI? And when we do step into that? If we control too much, definitely we will lose, speed, innovation. And if we trust blindly, it increases risk. So it is very, very important, and that is why leadership decide the role. Ethics, governance is very, very important here. Suppose AI AI is approving some customer refunds automatically. So as a leader, we have to decide how much amount we can give to AI to do independent approval, okay? When should humans intervene to take decision and all? So leadership is now shift from, controlling the things to deciding the boundaries. Another is workflow integration. Workflow integration, definitely AI is not just sit outside and do the things. It is into our system, they understand the pattern, read the things and all, and then redesign our workflows. Redesign the roles and responsibilities. And definitely governance models, risk management, and all those things. Ethical accountability, managing transparency, ensure accountability, addressing ethical concerns are very, very important here. Because transparency, biasness, accountability, responsiveness, all those things are very important as an ethical point of view. Leaders must understood they have to define their ethical governance first thing in the process. We all know some examples here. NVIDIA is one of the company. They have developed they are building the automatic independent car, driving car. So they are making massive of decisions on related to navigation, safety, and obstacles. So this is one of the example of NVIDIA's. IBM is also the another. It is not only focus on the proficiency or the productivity efficiency improvement. It also create massive opportunities, business capabilities, and revenue generation. Data informed transformation. So here also we know the transformation is very rapid nowadays, because earlier it is based on some intuition, experience. Now it is all based on the data, how rapidly we are going to take decisions based on the data, based on the pattern, based on the market and all. So for leaders, it is like once they have the data in front, it is very easy for them to take the decisions. So now there is no question like whether it is right. I think this is right. So now leaders can say the data shows this is right. So data transformation and taking leaders' decision is very rapidly. We all know, and I think Rajiv and Aditya already talked about leadership skills are evolving continuously. So instead of traditional coach the teams, taking facilitation and all, now it is sitting within the system. Interpretation skills, based on the data, based on the insights, based on the pattern study, they can take decision very easily and interpret. Evidence-based decisions always, once you have the data, then only you can confidently say, and that increases dramatically the stakeholders' trust. So preparing for the future, so here are any organization, if we are targeting to prepare for the AI adoption and all, they have a clear plan in place, 90 days plan or another 1 to 3 years of plan. So they have to work on the redesigning work processes. Not only sit on the old processes, how we redesign, how we define our roles and responsibilities. Invest in shared platforms, definitely. They have to give the powerful tools to the team with clear governance. Embrace innovation bets. So it generates agentic AI capabilities, business capabilities, models, data handling, competitive advantages, etc. Maintain human agency is very, very important, because see, creativity, empathy, accountability, all those things remain as a strength of human. It is not going to change. AI can only speed up the things. It can do the data processing and all, but it can't take decisions alone, because these creativity, empathy, governance, strategic thinking is very, very important. So it will always remain with the human. And that is why human in the loop is always be there. It is not, so don't as a fear like, okay, human will replace by AI. That is a wrong, statement or thinking. The vision ahead, definitely. So now leaders have to work with the hybrid teams, humans plus intelligent agents working together. And that's what, if leaders will work as a hybrid team, that will create a massive opportunities also. Emergent operating models, developing new, new markets, trends, new opportunities, new business models, new outcomes is one of them. Ethical governance, I already talked about. This is always be there, whether it's old Agile, new AI era and all. It is always be there because strategic thinking can't do alone by AI, agentic AI. Okay, let's take an example. Everyone love working on the project end. So if AI generates a project plan, okay, who is responsible? Sorry, wrong question. What is the role of project manager in that case? Because earlier project manager create the project plan, prepare the project plan, then review, approval and everything. There is a complete process. Now if AI generates this, then what is the role of the project manager? Whether it's only reviewer or as a coach. To follow the milestones. So definitely, it's basically the shift from how we are going to change our processes, our roles and responsibilities. It is not the fit, okay, my role is doing by AI, then what should I do? We have another opportunities also. We have whether the AI, whatever the AI gives as a outcomes, whether it is actually right or wrong. We have to review, we have to evaluate the things. We have to check whether the data is it is right or wrong, make decisions accordingly. Embrace the future of agile leadership. So AI is not just as a tool, it's a collaborator. So it's human plus agentic AI working together to create massive opportunities. New frontier, as we discussed, mastering AI human orchestration depends most critical leadership capability. So here, lead boldly front, cultivate AI fluency, redesign or lead as how we are going to lead the practices, the organization, the AI related tools, things, roles and all, and step into the confidently in the new era. So this is what, so as a crux, if I say, as a leadership role, because we are discussing about the new leadership and all, we know a lot of things earlier is without data or without much thinking, okay, what the pattern is showing, how the, just take an example, we know retailers like Amazon, Flipkart and all. Now they use AI to study the customer pattern, customer study, and then provide things accordingly, what is liking, disliking by the customer. Similarly for the entertainment also, platforms like Netflix. So they use AI algorithms to check the patterns, predict demands, predict outcomes, and then provide the content actually what customer is actually looking for. And that actually increases the customer engagement, the audience engagement. So everywhere we have been witnessing and seeing AI is entered into everyone. I am part of, sorry, I missed that. I am actually part of the quality assurance or the delivery assurance function in the organization. I am from Global Logic. So we as a core group of delivery assurance or the quality, because in other organization it called as a quality assurance function. Here we call as delivery assurance. So in every department, every function, in every organizations, everywhere they are looking how we automate the things. Even in our function also, we do audits, regular checks in the projects and all. So now we are also, optimizing, automation we are doing in the audit checklist as well. So writing prompts so that prompts can read the things, project managers or the delivery function provide the artifacts, prompts check all those things and then provide the result. Okay, But for this also, for this automation also, as a, I mean, human intervention is important, because prompts or whatever the algorithm we are putting, maybe they are not checking each and everything. So as a human we know, because in this project, okay, this is happening because of so and so reason. As a human we know. But whatever instruction we are giving to the AI, it may be, I'm not saying it is completely wrong, but it may be partially. So that is why human in the loop every time, it is very, very important. I think with this I am done. So the future is not man versus machine. It is, human plus intelligent agents working together to unlock many opportunities, and that we working as alone, we can't achieve that. So this is what is a new leadership or not new agile of leadership. Thank you, Jim. I have few questions, but please try if you can, scan it and then give your answer.
So what do you think? What is your biggest concern?
Let me, yeah.
Anyone?
What is your biggest concern about agentic AI? Please scan and give your answer if.
See, there used to be an era when humans were very, very intelligent, at least in India, like So I just feel that AI would open up that opportunity for human beings to become that superhuman beings, and that would become very common as it used to be in those days. And I'm looking forward to that, because that is where the agentic AI should lead us. Rather than machines leading us, we should be leading, and that would be a very good opportunity if done. For example, yesterday I was looking at a hydrogen generator for infuser in water. And we are not all very much aware of the kind of things it can do to the human body, but there is very less studies being done on that, because it is very good. So a lot of things have been kept aloof from us. They haven't been experimented properly, because these could lead to human evolution. Because there is a whole lobby which is stopping us from evolving. And if agentic AI can bridge that gap, I would say that would be a great win for whole human existence.
True, true.
Anyone, I will come to you. Anyone has maybe someone close, or maybe friend, colleague, who has lost his or her job because of so-called AI transformation?
So I had one friend who was working, I don't want to name the company, but they were building some AI models for their bank. It was a product. And after a month of hypercare period, the entire team got dismantled, and they were asked to leave the organization. They were the one who built the AI, and they were only asked to move out.
I'm also part of various audits when I'm in IBM, because they are CMM level 5 company. So how much AI is a good AI? Means any kind of a standardization is there, like we have ISO certifications for the various companies. So any kind of that standardization also will be there?
I don't have the answer, but I think there is no black and white as such. It's maybe in a, depends on your.
I think this is in progress. So as per EU Act, they are building some kind of act for AI, for ethical AI or responsible AI. This is in progress, and even in India there are some research going on. So soon we'll have some labor law or some law.
No, no, no. In India, there is an act called as a DPDP Act. So if you search for that word, data something to do it, right? It has a penalty of maybe in billions, I believe. So in case if you do something wrong, right? So the
As per EU, there is a DPA being signed whenever, like, I am working on AI part or some kind of there is some PII data which I am managing. So I need to sign a DPA agreement as per the GDPR. So yes, so they are introducing AI part also. So so the research is already on, so soon we will get some updates.
Maybe individual. But for India, it is really very strict. Just I can share that link. But if you search on Google, you can find it. It's very strict and it's very good also. And India, if you look at the way we used to be, but now we are taking as a country, we are taking maybe in a very proactive actions on it. Right. Anyone has attended this AI summit? How was the experience? The Delhi. It is good. And think about it. If you go maybe 10, 15, 20 years back, I think as a country, we never thought about it. We will organize in a... Huh. 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 IT and something which is just coming up. Right? So there is a lot of push from the government also. If you look at it, there are so many things which are happening we may not be aware of. Right, I just posted it today, though I scheduled it yesterday. So for this Amul company, so we were talking about Scrum or Agile, they did a 21-day sprint, 3-week sprint, and they actually, the word is, they used AI to track all the cows, maybe I think 40 lakhs cow. Sam Altman only, that in future there would be a one person, 1 billion company. Just single person. And which is true. Right. So yep. Earlier it used to be that the open source community. Now everything has become more of an. Yep. Right. Yeah.
Who owns the code in AI?
And that's a good one. And that's actually, I was reading that the act I was talking about, DPDP Act. So no, the thing is, in case if your code is entirely generated by an AI tool, then you don't own it. You have to show a log which says that the code is being generated by AI, but I have reviewed it, I have made the changes, and it has been done through multiple iteration. Only then you can take the ownership. I just, without it, in case if you don't have that logging available, you don't have those evidence available, so your code is public property. That's part of the act. Yeah, sorry, sir, you were saying. Sir.
For the intellectual property of the creation that has happened, that is so in Google World, there were some discussions that how our industry would be changing were creators. Because with the cognitive debt that we were talking about, the creativity would die or would be very minimal to the resources and the users who are really involved in that field.
Yeah. There is nothing wrong in using those AI tools, that's perfectly fine. But I think that's what all the speakers said, that human in the loop is the key. So even if you have created an image, downloaded it from ChatGPT or Gemini, you upload it directly on Facebook or LinkedIn, LinkedIn will put in a tag on it. The image is being created by ChatGPT. But if you upload the same image on a Canva or some other tool, make some changes or maybe just save it again, then you are safe. So which means you are involved. You have to, right? Otherwise it may be, so be careful whatever you are using. Evidence. Right. You have to show your Git repository. In case somebody, assuming that you are claiming that somebody has stolen my code, right? Then you have to show that, hey, this code, how do you ensure that you, or how do you say that this code is owned by you? You will show the Git repository. Otherwise, the other person can claim. Yeah.
So in my project, what is happening actually, my developers are asked to use AI tool, okay? While committing the code, they are asked to put a comment that whether they are using AI tool or not. If yes, to what percentage it helped, they have to mention that. And based on that, they are tracking, like from the result, like whether it was efficient or how they are trying to capture the adoption also of AI. So that's yes, yes.
So, what it is saying from a compliance perspective, just putting in a comment is actually saying that you are now you own the code. If you are involved. Is in evidence.
No, no, actually, there is one more thing. The way the AI tool is generating the code, it can also help to know that this is generated by AI. Like the way we generate the content, we know that this is AI generated content. Similar way, the code being generated is also the way it is being built tells us that this is generated by AI.
Very true. I think as of now, it's more of a chaos thing, right? We are using it, but somebody has said that, hey, we have to use it, but we don't have a benchmark as such, and we don't know how to check the improvement against that benchmark.
So it's a very strong seed. Jumped into the strong seed
Ah.
and just kind of getting fed all the water.
Right.
And as you rightly said, you then have a board build and all that, and ship from there, and put everything you want.
And
Actually, I'm doing this activity right now in my project. I've been asked to do it to measure the efficiency and productivity. So it's really a chaotic environment. Even client is expecting to get. So right now, I don't have a data. Okay, so I'm just because my developers were asked to use the AI tool in last 2 months. So last 2 months, there is no tracking done by client. So now we are doing manually and checking with each developer what is the productivity, what change they have done. But that is
Yeah, it is.
In every organization, this is going on. Yeah.
As of
Yes.
now.
Just like 8, 10 years back, few companies drastically changed their project managers as Scrum Master.
Yes.
So being called so-called agile, still they are not. Just as AI, they want every conference and every team talk about or just AI what should be there. So that is the mean without understanding the directive, where the organization want to go, how, which path they want to design for their own employees to follow. Everyone will just put into the room and ask that learn AI, where they should have to start, where they have to go. There is no path defined. Even leaders themselves don't know that where they have to go.
How many of us have coded?
Coded? Long back.
Long back? Did you ever use Google for getting the basic codes? That's what we are trying to overhype. This is the same thing that I used to do 20 years back. And I don't know what is the difference now. I have never written unit tests myself. I used to ask Google, this is the code, give me the unit test. I never used to code.
Now even Google has changed to Gemini.
See, the same thing. It's totally overhyped. Totally overhyped. There is no difference. If you want to really use AI, use agents. I think that's where the real value is. Coding was never a use case for the AI. Coding was never a use case. And if there is a developer who says he has not used Google, I want to talk to him.
Even earlier, automation was there, then robotic came. Now, those automations and robotic process automation also are being just labeled as AI, and people are selling it.
Okay, I think let's move to the next topic. So we have heard about so many models, ChatGPT, we have 5.1, 5.2, we have Gemini, right, Claude. So how do you know that which model is best?
By asking another model.
There is some website where you can see which LLM performs in each
Question to question, domain to domain, there are a lot of differences. Sometimes I see Claude hallucinating, sometimes I see Gemini hallucinating. There are instances, but domain to domain it varies a lot.
Actually, I'll answer that. But I just want to know that your domain will be better for 5.1 or 5.5.
Exactly, that's another point, whether it's a paid version or not.
Okay, we have an answer.
I was couple of days back I was talking to an AI architect. Same question. So like they are using a machine learning algorithm. Now let's say they have delivered something in an year span, they predicted something. Now that prediction is not accurate or there is some issue. What they do in this case? So they have to go back again and experiment with another model and see the result. So just to answer you, you have to experiment it and see this model how is it behaving, and you have to give some time, a duration of a month or two, to see the performance. And then after that, if it's not working, you have to change the model. That is the only way.
there are
So
already research. There is a website where you can find all those which models are working here.
Yes, sir.
So yesterday I was attending a Microsoft conference. So they were showcasing the AI
Uh,
and they come up with a new concept of model router.
model router.
Right? What is there that you have experienced some models. Okay, so there is a long list of models over there, 15, 20 models over there, and it depends on you which you
for doing the complex stuff. But if you want to generate images with them, that may not be the right. Right? So there is a non-profit organization named as LMSys, Large Model System Organization. So it is being founded by students and the faculty from 3 universities. University of Berkeley, University of California, right, and Carnegie Michigan, right, 3 of them. So what they have done is they have a mechanism. It's if you look at it as standard testing of a model, it's a white box testing, right? Which means you train the model on something and you ask the same question. If you answer it right, then your model is good. But the approach they use is what to say, black A/B testing. So the model is there, it is open for the public, for users like us. Right? You ask a question, you get the answer, right? And you will get the answer from 2 models. Right? Now you as well as other users can vote which answer you like the most. Based on that, the kind of question you have, if you have asked a coding question, you may get 2 answers, you will say, hey, this answer is better. Now the system in the background will check whether which model answered that. Right? And then based on that, the rating is done. So that if you search in the rating place is actually the website. So if you look at it, so there are models for coding, there are models for text to image generator, for video generation, all are different kinds of models, and not one model is at the top. Depending on the work you have to pick your model. So just obviously I can understand. Earlier we used to pay to Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar for the subscription. Now we are going to pay to these models for our money.
One more thing is you also need to give an effective prompt for each model.
You can also ask agents to generate the prompts. Then that's what also.
Even there are LLMs which you generate the code, content, and then put into that to make it look nice. So that
and that's where there are tools available for making it human. So there is a tool
Nobody is